Yo, we're getting rained on here. I'm gonna hide under this tree over here. Yo, so look, one thing that a lot of people struggle to find is, their purpose in this life. And I get it. It's very complicated to go and, really figure out what you want to do in this world, why you came to this world. What are your reasons for being here? What is your purpose? And people get lost trying to find this answer. People, there's people that never find the answer. And they struggle to live. They struggle to live happily. They struggle to have a good life because they just don't know why they're here. They don't have a faith. They just don't want to be here because they don't understand why they're here. Which in itself is a problem. And that's what I want to talk about. There's also not just one purpose. There's two types of purposes. And one is inner purpose and the other is outer purpose. The thing with inner purpose is it's a permanent. It's going to be the same purpose at all times. No matter what changes happen in your life, no matter what you go through, your inner purpose will always stay the same. It has to. You can't change your inner purpose, because if you change your inner purpose, then everything would be misaligned with the universe, It's kind of like, I don't know, permanent, I would say. So think about it. Let me put it this way, Your inner purpose is to be conscious. Your inner purpose is to be alive. It's to be aware. It's to really feel this world. It's, it's your being, your being, not your, exterior self, your soul, being a good person to society, being a good person to everybody, being one with the universe. And the reason why it's permanent is because that's the best thing you could offer to this world. That's the best thing you could offer to yourself. And, having that purpose and sticking to it, everything else will come along. That's the thing with outer purpose. Your outer purpose could be, having a family, your job, taking care of whatever you want to take care. But that changes over time, through the phases of your life. When you're a child, maybe your outer purpose is to just have fun, be with your family, be with your friends. Later on, build that family. If you want to do a nonprofit, that could be an outer purpose. That could be a good one. There's so many things that you could do, and that's why your outer purpose will always be changing. It can change. It's not permanent. But your inner purpose, remember, is always going to be permanent. Because what does the world need from you? What does this universe need? What does it ask from you? It just wants you to be aware. It just wants you to be conscious. The trees don't ask anything from you. The people, they don't really, they're not asking anything. Like my dog here waiting for the ball, Everything works together when you're aware, when you're conscious, when you're present, when you're not lost in your mind, when you're actually feeling the energy that the world is sending your way. And the thing is, when your inner purpose changes, when you stop focusing on your consciousness, when you stop being aware, you get lost. You get lost in your train of thoughts. You get lost in a lot of things. And, being lost creates suffering. Remember that. That's why inner purpose is important. It's to avoid suffering. Avoid suffering not just in yourself, but avoid suffering everywhere, in all your relationships, at your job, with your friends, with your family. If there is any suffering, put more focus on it. Put more awareness to it. Really dig into it and realize, why is there suffering being created? Most likely, the cause is that there's no presence. There's no consciousness. Things are happening in ways that they shouldn't be. And if there was awareness, you would be aligned to the universe, and all of those problems would go away. You would be able to make the right decisions. Everything that comes through you will come correctly, because your inner purpose is permanent. You are locked in. You are aware. You are conscious. And again, that's what the world asks of you. It doesn't ask anything else. It just wants you to be conscious. If you want to do other stuff, then there you go. That's your outer purpose. And focusing on that is important, especially in a place where there's so much stuff to do. You can get distracted by anything. I don't even know. You have drugs, alcohol, phones, video games, gambling, sex, everything. Everything will get you hooked up and get you distracted. And when you're distracted, again, that's when suffering comes. So it's important, to remember your inner purpose. Remember why you're here, and to not take it that serious. Like, it's not that serious. All you have to do is just be present, be conscious, and not get caught up with your thoughts, not get caught up with mental wars that are not real. Just breathe. It's the easiest thing you could do. Just conscious breathing, and that's automatically consciousness. That's awareness. That's feeling your body, feeling your organs move, your breathing, your lungs expand. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but reminding yourself and practicing on it, that's the only way to improve. And just think about it, being aware, because I was not aware before. Everybody has the ability to be aware. Everybody has the ability to be conscious in them. You don't really have to you don't have to obtain anything else. It's already inside of you, all this power. But there were points where I was eaten up by the ego. I had a huge ego, and that I would be lost in my own thoughts, and there was a lot of suffering in my life. Put it that way. There was a lot of suffering in my life. And now that I got out of it, I could make those reflections. I could see what was missing back then. Not really what was missing, what I didn't, what I didn't use, the ability of being conscious that I already had, but I wasn't aware that I had it. And also, all the suffering with the relationships. I had a lot of bad relationships. And thankfully, I was able to heal a lot of them. A lot of the ones that were good. There's some bad relationships, unhealthy relationships, where you're gonna have to get rid of it. Especially if the other person does not want to evolve, does not want to become aware, does not want to be conscious. It's hard to have relationships with unconscious people. Those are the relationships that will have the most suffering. So whenever a partner, whenever there's a couple that is always fighting, it's just a sign that there is no consciousness, there's no awareness. Because if you were conscious, why would you choose suffering? If you were aware, why would you want to struggle in life? If you could make your own decisions, why would you decide to suffer? It makes no sense at all. But that's why it comes from unconsciousness, because you're not consciously choosing to suffer. And that's why it's important to, focus on your inner purpose, focus on your consciousness, because so you can live a better life and not suffer, easily put that way. But yeah, now, I could look at other people and I could notice where the unconsciousness is. I can notice where that awareness is lacking. I can notice these people suffering, And yeah, it's sad to see. I will always do my best, inner purpose, be conscious, be aware, and then help other people, unlock that is already in themselves, so they could live life to the fullest, so they could have synergy in all the relationships and in this universe, in this planet, with everybody. Because that's why we're here. The purpose of the society is to evolve. If we don't evolve, and you can only evolve by being conscious, you can only evolve by being present and really having good intentions with what you're doing. If we don't do that, then the human race is just gonna eat itself up. There's just gonna be so much suffering that we already see it. People do kill themselves, people go to war, we'll just destroy our own race. And not just destroy the human race, we're gonna destroy the planet. We're gonna make it harder for other animals to live. We're gonna make it harder for anything to really live. And that's why it's important for the humans to evolve, to be conscious, so we can live better and not go backwards, so we can go forward. Simply put, Yeah, I don't know. I think there's gonna be a point in my life. Well, I know there's gonna be a point in my life where my main outer purpose, because remember, my inner purpose will always stay the same. Everybody's inner purpose is to be conscious. That my outer purpose will change to, well, like, I mean, these videos are kind of doing the work, but later on I'll heavily focus on becoming a coach where I could really be there one-on-one with anybody and help people out, help people go through whatever they go through, and unlock their true potential, to live a better life, and to remove all suffering from their life. That's what I really want to do. I want to help a lot